put your fingers up the genitals of a 5-year-old girl. I have the records here. Let me see if I can find it. And Fancy gave me permission to share whatever I want.
Oh, good. That's good to know. So y'all
I'm not on best terms. Like we're
right,
not
but y'all have been able to coexist.
Yes. Like I'm not going to try to have a fight with her, and I don't agree with everything of all of her opinions. And we had to have a talk.
She has a lot of things right.
She does, but then she also has some behaviors that I just are very hard on.
I get it.
So agreement to be civil, basically.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. I have them here, and it's like the swallow study. I was trying to find it when I was on TikTok live. When people say that Dee Dee was in these tests, it's like, no. If you've ever been to a swallow study, parents are not allowed to be near the child because it's radiology. And so they give them food, and then they have to and it's not the parent that does it. It's the radiologist feeding therapist that's in the room with them. And then they have them on this there's this huge thing that's goes around like this. And there's one right back here and one here. My son has a feeding disorder, and so he's had to have swallow studies. And so when they eat, they can see the food go down.
Okay.
And so she can't manipulate that.
Well, if you get a CPAP, you have to have a sleep study, and there's no way in hell Dee Dee's just going to stand there while she's sleeping.
And there's pictures of her doing the sleep study.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And it was also noted in there that Gypsy had to sleep on an incline, because when she slept, it would pull up in the back of her throat, and she would cough on it in her sleep.
Yeah.
And this is when she was not a baby, you know what I mean?
Here's this one. She's waking up frequently, gasping, and gagging.
Yes.
She's having a difficult time handling her saliva at night.
Yep.
A barium swallow study done with speech therapy in January of 2024 showed no evidence of aspiration or penetration. She did have significant gagging and coughing with all consistencies.
She had a lot of ear, nose, and throat problems.
Yeah,
the ear tubes.
But listen to this. The speech therapist felt that some of these may have been behavioral rather than true swallowing dysfunction.
Interesting. Huh. How old was she? What year was that?
2004. So she would have been 13.
Wow.
So that would have been cognizant enough.
So you know how Becca Scoop said by the time she was a teenager, she joined in on the malingering with her mother?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
She's going in there for her mom and failing things. But she had, when she got her G-tube, she was inpatient, right? Yes. And she was in feeding therapy daily, and she was literally throwing up with the feeding therapists.
Yeah. Yes. And that's reported that she had issues with throwing up.
And she had failure to thrive, meaning she was not getting enough calories. She was throwing up so frequently. That's why they had to do the Nissen fundoplication. I don't know how to say it, but they basically take a small part of your stomach and they wrap it around your esophagus to stop the reflux.
Okay.
And so once they do that, they also put a feeding tube in, because once they cut that off, it's hard for them to burp. And then the feeding tube helps vent out that air. And then she started getting 80% of her nutrition through her tube.
Yeah.
So it sounds like more she had gastric reflux really bad rather than sleep apnea.
She did have sleep. She didn't have sleep apnea. She didn't actually have sleep apnea. She had hypoventilation.
Yeah. Yeah, but it sounds like because you're talking about the acid and the esophagus.
Well, she wasn't able to expel air big enough. She has low muscle tone in her mouth.
Right.
She sucked a bottle for so damn long.
And she had oral dysphagia, which my son has, and she couldn't expel enough air to take a full breath out. And so when she was sleeping, her CO2 levels were rising and she was having lower oxygenation levels. And so they did multiple sleep studies to verify this. Bye, everyone.